welcome to today's Wild Mapper video. In this video, we will look into a scenario in which the Democratic Republic of the Congo decides to form an empire. Well, the first thing they do is invade their neighbors. Oh, not all of them, only one. They invade Rwanda, because why not? And they crush the nation. Within days, they fully annex it to its empire. And now we can say it's an empire. Well, it has an emperor now, too. Now they have more access to nations, but then they're like, let's go to the Republic of Congo to get some more land. Which countries seeing this as not good, such as Cameroon, Gabon, and Equatorial Guinea, who end up at war with the Congo. Because they decide they'll fight for what they believe in. And they do this quickly. And well, they manage to cakewalk through. But that's all they see until something major starts happening, with CAR sending in its forces into the Congo. With the Dr. Congo making the most gains, almost taking out Republic of Congo. Which doesn't take long and they collapse. So all that, well, I'm going to use this color because it makes more sense for a collapse. Because it's still occupied. And well, they quickly advance into this territory. And they start making advances here. Why am I selecting that? Because, well, there was a mistake earlier. With countries like CAR deciding to withdraw troops from the war and say that they're ready for a ceasefire. So they basically just leave the war. They leave the war quickly after Cameroon leaves and Equatorial Guinea. But Gabon does not give up. Because they know their biggest fate, what their fate will be. Complete utter annexation. And I'll be right back. Congo firmly cementing its new gains. But they have one problem. A big alliance forms. Yeah, there isn't always alliances. This is interesting. With Central African Republic, Angola, Equatorial Guinea, Cameroon, Zambia, all join this coalition. With them sending Sudan a request for help in their next war, which Sudan accepts. Yes, who don't they want to invade? Well, it's a quick war. And quickly, oh my god, I did a mistake. So they start the war with a huge advance into South Sudan, with North Sudan starting its advance. Why is it called North Sudan? It's just called Sudan. And they flood in. And in this description by me, it may not be put right away, but I have a new Discord. You should join us. It's very wild. And yeah, it's also called Wild Mapper. While South Sudan just collapses on spot. And a beeping noise happens. No, I'm kidding. And then that's how the border is drawn. Because what I was drawing looked boring, so I just had to spice it up. And so they now share a border with Ethiopia. who they don't wish to attack. Their biggest concerns are West Africa, South Africa, a bit of East Africa, but they basically say to Ethiopia they want their help in the next war, which leads Sudan to leave, because a lot of these nations dislike Sudan. Ethiopia too. They go to war with 3 countries. They only got Ethiopia to help because 2 of them will impact Ethiopia. Yeah, that impacted well. It's impacting other nations, apparently. And the war begins with huge advances made. Let's just start doing something to keep it. Rages on. With the Congo already reaching the coast. Democratic Republic of Congo was becoming the Congo Empire. I haven't done many African nations with empires. I think I did Algeria, maybe. Definitely did Ethiopia, Nigeria, and Egypt. Rest I'm not completely sure. Rapidly expanding with a big, huge alliances unsigned between Ethiopia, Democratic Republic of Congo, South Africa, and Nigeria. But this leads to more nations joining, including Togo, Benin, Ghana, Burkina Faso, Eritrea, Djibouti, and most of all, Lesotho. But seeing Ethiopia join the alliance, Egypt decides to join the other one. This just leads to a huge boiling point. With a huge, to try and not get them to try and demoralize their enemies, they start a grueling war into Angola. And this alliance I made pulls their Article 5. But every other troops prepared. He was testing the water, is what the Congo was doing, testing the water. Democratic Republic of Congo just tested the water. And they got a new ally out of it. Israel. And to leave Palestine out because Palestine is chill. And they don't really care about the war, let's say. With Nigeria and South Africa in some bad places. With Egypt distracted with another nation. Well, a big campaign to connect these two was created, and this campaign is successful. Then Ethiopia starts a campaign here. To prevent the risk of getting cut off, they started a campaign here. Well, the only problem is South Africa is still organizing. So they lose a bit of land. It's not great for the team. But they weren't prepared on that front. They were on the other front, certainly. And this happens. Let's get to another front where war happens. All of Ethiopia's borders light up to conflict, especially the north, which is really quickly held by Sudan and allies. Many countries are in bad locations on both teams, especially Ethiopia. But while Ethiopia is messing up, so is Nigeria in the north. And I don't mean they're just messing up slightly. They're messing up a lot, Nigeria is. With the Congo slipping back. It's not a very great sight. Stalemate, and the front's turning for the worst, especially for Namibia and Angola and Cameroon. With this managing to happen, allowing forces to climb up through, which South Africa takes advantage of this situation, makes 2 spearheads, along with the DRC making 1. And eventually they connect this front, which makes a few bad located countries collapse. Which, this may not seem like major, but it has major implications for this war in the South Front with this happening. And forces are getting very unloyal, with the North being completely protected, because most of this progress down here is being made by South Africa and a bit by the Congo. It looks like a lot, but it's not really for the size of the Congo. But South Africa is really holding it together. Like, a lot of these forces coming out of the North aren't the DRC's, but South Africa's. With many countries seeing this as fight or die, this happens. With them realizing they have the winner, they will unexist, this still happens. With Nigeria starting a campaign here. And these northern forces start advancing in. It's unlikely that they'll be able to have a complete victory over this alliance. But it looks with a weird border being created. A very weird border, may I add. They decide to build it around here. Yeah, and so the border is that. But looks like South Africa got an empire now. With peace negotiations starting, especially with Egypt. Egypt opts to exit the war, along with Burkina Faso, after they see how the war is going. Countries like Chad leave, which leaves the rest of this alliance in shambles, with nobody able to pull up their weight anymore. Kind of like NATO. Wouldn't probably be able to, but France would. France is a noble exception, and Poland definitely would. The Baltics probably would fight as hard as I could. Think of it. Estonia beat Russia. Like, what would they do in war? They would do it again. With Sudan being pushed into a very unforgiving spot, they opt for peace. Why is peace being opted? Because, well, they can't win. Egypt could still dice them up. South Africa looks pretty chill. And now it's time to see a peace treaty. See you after the Treaty of Kinshasa. I think that's the capital of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Probably badly pronounced, but still, yeah. If the Democratic Republic of Congo forms an empire, that's Nigeria, who technically got an empire out of this. Israel technically got an empire out of this. Ethiopia and South Africa. But this is the Democratic Republic of Congo one. And they make this, they're an EAF within, which the DRC is technically part of, but they're a state. So this is Angola, which gets to be super long. Maybe make Zambia over there like that. That's a weird Zambia. Make this Republic of Congo land. Make this, I guess, Central Africa. And then this can be the Democratic Republic of Congo. With this being the capital area. And if you want to see what it looks like from out here with states, it's pretty big. Just saying. And I hope you enjoyed today's video. Why should you subscribe? Because you can subscribe. I even have a Discord. You should join that. The Discord's called Wild Mapper. I'll leave a link in the description. Might not be there right away because it might take me a while to get it in because I need to go to my phone to get it in the description. And this is on a computer I record. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Why should you enjoy this video? If you did, like it. If you didn't, like it. But if you Tell me how this video was in the comments section. Leave a comment. Do you think this is a proper state, or should I make South Sudan a state? Your opinion. Please express your opinion on today's video by Wild Mapper. Why should you? Because you should just leave a comment, like, subscribe, sub, comment, sub, like, comment, sub, like, comment. You should look at all my videos you may have missed, because there's hundreds of videos. Actually, I think it's 170, 120, one or the other. You should really look at the videos, though. They're pretty chill. And that's all for today's video. Please like, comment, subscribe. And that's all for today's video. Wild Mapper out.